Outsourcing in general refers to subcontracting of a service or a manufacturing activity to an external service provider. It involves transfer of management and day-to-day execution of an entire business function or process to an external service provider. Outsourcing is a bucket term which includes all type of outsourcing from manufacturing process to business process. It also includes outsourcing of business process, legal process, knowledge, research process, human resource management, etc. BPO undertakes the following process: data processing, basic data entry, department outsourcing, providing technical support, providing email support to the customers. The dividing line between KPO, that is knowledge process outsourcing, and BPO is very faded. Some experts say that KPO is not different from BPO. Broadly, KPO is a subset of BPO. It just occupies the higher end of BPO spectrum. KPO, unlike BPO, is not restricted to information technology. It specializes in various other challenging sectors, namely business research, clinical research, intellectual property research, etc. Now, technical terminologies. First one, agent. Who is an agent? Agent is a person who handles a call. Agent group is a group of agents that share a common set of skills, also called split, gate, queue, or skills group. Agent status, the mode an agent is in. It could be a talk time, it's a after call work or unavailable, etc. Base staff, minimum number of agents required to achieve service level and response time objectives for a given period of time. Seated agent calculation assumes that agents will be in their seat for the entire period of time. Therefore, schedules need to add in extra people to accommodate break, absenteeism, and other factors that will keep agent from the phones, also called seated agent. CRM, customer relationship management. It's a process that records customer contacts and information to allow for an enhanced relation with the customer. CSR, an alternative name for an agent. CTI, computer telephony integration. Function that provides for telephony and customer information to be aligned. This allows for such functions such as screen copy. Then we also have some more terms. Let's continue with it. Back office. It is part of most organizations where tasks dedicated to running the operation of the entity take place. Now remember, there are two types of office: back office and front office. Here we are dealing only with the back office operations. Then billing matrix. Summary of billing terms of all clients for whom services are rendered by the entity. BPO industry, it includes various entities like BPO, KPO, LPO, RPO, HRO, MBPO, ESO, SEO, procurement BPO, etc. All the other forms of back office operations might be outsourced either in entirety or partially, irrespective of services being rendered in India or outside India. BPO is the transference and delegation of back office function to outside vendors. Call center is a centralized office for the purpose of receiving and transmitting a large volume of requests by telephone. Contact center, in addition to call center, collective handling of letters, faxes, live chats, and emails are also done at one location. Now, contract is said to be a master agreement, service level agreement. It includes statement of work, purchase order, or other official formal agreement entered by the entity with the client related to provision of service. Now we'll see different type of outsourcing. ESO, engineering services outsourcing. outsourcing of all or part of the engineering process to an external service provider. External service provider is an entity having any legal form providing outsourced services to your client. HRO is outsourcing or transferring all or part of human resource management function of an entity. KPO, knowledge process outsourcing, is outsourcing of high-end business function in an organization. It includes both core and non-core activities. LPO is outsourcing legal support services of an outside law firm. SLA, it's a service level agreement, performance objectives reached by consensus between user and provider of service or between outsourcer and an organization. MSA, master service agreement, contract that states the responsibilities, rights, obligations of one party with another. Then we have MBPO, medical business process outsourcing, which is outsourcing all or part of medical record documentation, patient history, case history to an external service provider. Multi-sourcing, it's a framework in which different parts of the client business are to be sourced from different external service provider. Offshoring, outsourced business function done in another country. Outsourcing is a process of sourcing from outside the purview of the firm. Procurement BPO, outsourcing all or part of the procurement activities to an external service provider. RPO, recruitment process outsourcing or transferring all or part of recruitment activities to an external service provider. Research process outsourcing all or part of the research work to external service provider. SLA, performance objectives reached by consensus between user and the provider of a service. SOW is statement of work, a formal document that captures and defines the work activities, deliverables and timeline a vendor will execute against performance of specified work for a customer. SCO, supply chain outsourcing of all or part of activities related to supply chain management to an external service provider. Error rate, it is either the number of defective transaction or the number of defective steps in a transaction. Escalation plan, a plan that specifies actions to be taken when the queue begins to build beyond acceptable level. FTE, full-time equivalent, expression of staff numbers calculated on the number of hours a full-time staff member would work. Or a term used in scheduling and budgeting whereby the number of scheduled hours is divided by the hours in a full work week. Private automatic branch exchange, the switch which manages calls within an organization. Scheduling exception, when an agent is involved in an activity outside of the normal or planned schedule. Scorecard, a group of performance indicators that reflect the operations of the center. Screen monitoring, a system capability that enables supervisor or manager to remotely monitor the activity on agent's computer terminal. Supervisor, the person who has frontline responsibility for a group of agents. Threshold, the point at which an action, change or process takes place. Transmission control protocol or internet protocol, the protocol that governs the exchange of sequential data. Voice processing, a blanket term that refers to any combination of voice processing technologies, including voicemail, automated attendant, audio text, and fax back, etc. Voice over internet protocol, system that enables voice calls to be carried over data network. Average handling time, sum of average talk time and average after call work for a specified time period. Busy hour, a telephone traffic engineering term referring to hour of time in which a trunk group carries the most traffic during the day. Call demand, estimated number of calls that are expected to be received by the sender. Cost per call, a measurement of the financial cost of each call calculated by the sender cost being divided by number of calls. Delay, the time a caller spends in queue waiting for an agent to become available. It is also called queue time. Help desk, a term that refers to a call center set up to handle queries about product installation, usage, or problems. Service level, the percentage of incoming calls that are answered within the specified threshold. Talk time, the time an agent spends with a caller during a transaction. Includes everything from hello to goodbye. Archive, it's a process of storing information for an extended period of time. Backup, it's a method of making multiple copies of data or programs for use when original data gets lost. Data capture, it's a procedure for assembling and putting data for utilization in a computer. Data verification, it's a method of having a check on the data which is transferred by comparing copies of data before and after transfer. File filter, it's a software which is used to convert data and information from one format to another.